Sales was really intimidating for me when I first got started. I always had this motto, and I've seen it shared among a lot of other entrepreneurs and founders, is like, I hate being salesy. I don't really want to sell anything.
Sales is nothing more than being able to help somebody take them out of the pain they're feeling into the pleasure they're seeking.
I'm here to help you, and I'm here to serve you. If there's not alignment in what we do, then I'm not going to sell you something that you shouldn't have.
Life is a pitch. It's simply that. It is a pitch, and it is fun. Let's make sure that you're being sold what you want and you're selling what you actually want to sell. I really just love selling. It's the easiest thing on the planet if you believe in yourself. Let's buckle up. By the way, my name's JL. This is Sell Anything.
Welcome to the Sell Anything podcast. I'm your host, JL. With me, I have Remy Davenport. He is the founder of King's Media.
Yes, sir.
So King's Media is a really unique, really cool mission that I'm really excited to dive into because with just the name King, I'm assuming it's a mission-driven thing.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited I won't take the glory of the story. I want you to share it, but I'm excited to jump into it for sure.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is King's Media? Tell us who Remy is.
Okay, yeah. So King's Media, it actually originally started as a company named New Earth Media.
Okay.
I started it about 1.5 years ago. And the name was derived from my last business, which I ran as a faith-based apparel company. Did that for about 6 years. And one of the brand lines that we kind of created in it was the New Earth Media, or not the media, but just the New Earth. And it was kind of tailored more towards Revelation 21, this idea of the new heavens and the new earth, and just having a mindset of the world to come.
Okay.
And so as I started this agency, the focus was all like faith-centered and how I wanted to approach it. And so I looked for a name that kind of resembled that. And so as New Earth Media kind of developed and grew, and then we kind of started to pivot some of our model less towards, we were working with some churches,
right?
And then we started to pivot towards faith-based founders.
Okay.
And once I found that alignment, we kind of did a rebrand. And as I did that, I kind of found that a consistent theme from all of my brands was this idea of the king. So one of our mottos in the other business was, let's grow the kingdom. And then another one was, we do it all for the king. Okay. And both of those just kind of aligned perfectly. I got neon signs in my office already that have them. So it kind of just worked out for the budget.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, then King's Media kind of came from that. And what we specialize in right now is working with high-level founders that are faith-driven and helping them scale their businesses, their missions. Sometimes maybe it's even just their overall goals of trying to change the world, depending on like if they're a legacy founder or a missional founder, and doing that through the means of organic content with personal branding.
Okay. So tell me the difference between a legacy founder and a what founder?
A missional founder.
A missional founder. What's the difference?
So traditionally, a missional founder would probably make up, I would say, 95% of all founders. And someone who has a business where when they come to me and they say they want, help with personal branding and content, everything that they're doing within that usually is to push towards the movement of the business that they're already involved in.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like different tiers that a founder goes through and different stages of involvement as they grow and progress and are successful. So the missional is going to be focused on that business, while the legacy is someone who's already built multiple businesses. They kind of are, maybe they're deciding they want to build a media empire. Maybe they want to do something different. They're kind of the center of the focus. Usually they turn to being a speaker or an author. Sometimes it is a podcaster. But there's not like one business directly tied to it. They're kind of focused more on impact as a KPI than it is about revenue for them.
How fitting is this, dude? Because here's the funny thing. I watched your VSL on your landing page.
Oh, great.
And I was like, this guy's talking right to me, dude. This guy, I loved it. I was so excited to have you on here. And I almost feel like from a selfish standpoint, I almost want to do like a little personal audit here as we're doing this and just give the people a taste of what you actually do. Yeah. And if something comes of it and they end up, you get a deal out of it or two, that would be awesome. Yeah. That would be so cool.
I'm always for that, man.
But before I'll answer your question. So Remy asked me a question as we were like gearing up. We were talking about hunting, is because of the short hair, and hunting has just always been a big part of my life. Not as much as I'd like it to be, because I'm selling and working, but like when I can break away and hunt. He asked me what was the most wild thing that I've ever hunted. So 2 months ago, so my son, my oldest son, he just graduated high school, and he's been obsessed with alligators his entire life. Okay. Obsessed. And green's been his favorite color. He just loves them. Yeah. And I was like, dude, you graduate and you do your best your senior year, hit a handful of metrics, we'll go shoot a gator.
That's crazy.
And he was like, all right. So he does it. So we go And
you just went to some like Floridian's backyard or something?
Oh, dude. it was awesome. So we did go down to Florida.
Okay, wow.
And we went to an outfitter called God's Country Outfitters.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. And we went down there, and like reeling in a gator is wild. It's like so surreal.
How big are these guys? Because isn't there a big difference between like a crocodile and an alligator?
So a crocodile is like South America, Australia. Like,
oh, so it's just region based.
It's like, yeah, they're a different hemisphere kind of thing. An alligator is an American gator, right?
USA made.
Yep, they're 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and the biggest difference is just their snout. So an alligator is more rounded and a crocodile is more pointed.
Gotcha.
And I think crocodiles get a little bit bigger too.
Yeah.
So, and apparently they're like dinosaurs, man. They live forever. So the one I shot was just for the sake of my guide being a stud.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just shy of 11. It was 11 feet long. Like, it was a monster. And the one that my son shot was also 11 feet. So they're
Do you get them in like one shot, or are these like they build momentum? You shoot them once and they get pissed, and then you got to shoot them like 6 times.
actually, if you hit it right, it's like lights out.
Really?
Yeah, it's lights out. There's a tiny little. It was a lot of fun. There was so many cool things that happened. Like, it was a ton of fun. But basically, there's a little plate like right on the back of their head, and you have to get right behind that plate. If you hit that plate, it could ricochet. Like, it's rock solid. So you got to get right behind that plate, and then it like severs spinal cord, brain connection, lights out.
And do you have to like stock something like this because they usually are in the water? And you have to wait till they.
We got to dive in the water.
You have to go in the water.
And you have to like grab.
No, thank you.
I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that.
Okay, I was gonna say, dude.
No, the way that they did it, like there's a handful of ways to do it. The way they do it is you just kind of look at the water. You see a gator's head. You see him on the shore or whatever, and the guide he's been doing it forever. He's so good. RT is his name. He's such a stud, dude. He's such a good guy. But he can look at the gator's head and make, okay, that's like a 12 or an 11-inch head is a good indicator. It's going to be like an 11-foot gator.
Whoa.
Like their head size is an indicator of their body for the most part. And so you can only see their head, and then they'll drop, and bubbles will come up, and you know that they're down there. And then you throw a big old treble hook out there, and you just kind of start reeling until you snag it. And then you just got to keep tension on the rod, and you just reel. You just fight.
So it's like a team effort. Well, because someone's having to reel at the same time as someone's going to shoot it.
Yep. So you reel them to the boat, and then you get them to the boat, and by the time you get them to the boat, they've started to like death roll to like get away. So they've wrapped the cord all the way around them.
Okay.
And then you throw like a top loop on them.
Yeah.
Pull them in, and then you just gotta get them right back there.
So
it's awesome.
When you kill something like that.
Yeah.
Are we Happy Gilmoreing the head? Are we like taking the head of an alligator and mounting it somewhere? Yes. Is this like the ultimate trophy?
Yes.
It goes right in between like 2 elk.
Yes.
And it stands as king.
Yes.
It's like a Godzilla.
So if you go to their lodge, to the outfitter's lodge, they have some of the coolest mounts on the planet.
Really?
Like there's some really, really cool mounts that they have of the alligators. We're just doing the head and then making boots.
Yeah.
Like that.
Making boots?
Yeah.
That's
alligator
awesome.
boots, dude. And so we're doing that. But you could do like the one when we go back and do it again, because I'm sure we'll do it again.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
They have this one called a wall crawler, and essentially like the whole body goes up into the corner.
Oh my gosh.
And then that like head comes down, and it's like it's coming into the room.
Whoa.
It's awesome.
They take months to do that too, right? Because it's not a years?
Years. Yeah, just to like process the hide so it will be preserved is like a year.
Wow.
It's pretty wild. Yeah.
Are you good with patience and that kind of stuff?
No,
I'm not.
But I'm here.
I got Amazon Prime, so I want it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.
This afternoon, please.
Yeah.
Like if you can get it here today, I'm happier. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's definitely a patient game. And even the elk head and like all the mounts take time, especially if you're going to go to a good taxidermist.
Yeah. I remember I went to one when I was, I want to say like I was 6th grade. It was a graduation party, and I barely remember it, but it was just at one of the kids' houses. And I walked in, and the first thing I saw to my left was a polar bear. Yeah. So I didn't even know if it was legal. I saw a polar bear. I saw an ox, a buffalo. They had a shark. They had an entire water exhibit that was just dedicated for all marine that it had gotten.
I like this guy.
And then there was a wolf exhibit, so it had a wolf chasing after a deer.
Yeah.
It felt like I was in a museum. But it was like someone's house on a golf course.
Is there a trophy room?
The entire house was a trophy room. Yeah.
I feel so good about it.
Yeah.
I'm inspired.
You're one with nature.
I'm inspired, man. I love it. That's awesome. So that's the answer to the question.
All right.
But dude, this is not about me. This is about you.
I am very fascinated in all things. So I can talk about whatever, man.
I also am hyper curious. So tell me why faith driven? How did this all King's Media, dude?
Yeah. I've always been someone that has been passionate about my faith. And I mean, I'm not exclusionary that if you're not a Christian, I won't work with you. But what I will say is that if you are a Christian, the chances of us aligning in the values and the vision that we have beyond the business are probably closer. Right. Because in my mind, I love business. I love capitalism. I'm all for it. Yeah. But I'm not after the love of money. Yeah. Like the love of money is like the root of all evil. And so if you partner with people who their agenda is not impact and change, which like capitalism at like a fundamental level is like an exchange of value, right? Where
100%.
Like both sides are receiving value. Yeah. And ideally the person who's paying is receiving more value than the person who's selling. Yeah. And so if your vision of business does not even align with that at like a moral level, if it's just about like a quick cash grab, like, oh, I'm a course creator, I can make courses and sell, and it's not good. Those aren't the people that I want to partner with. Right. So I found it easier, and it's just commonly that most of the founders that I work with are faith driven. And once you're kind of in that community, it's just kind of a referral word spread. Yeah. But I enjoy working with all founders. I don't appreciate working with founders who are dishonest or they have a different kind of agenda when it comes to the value they want to bring to the people they work with.
Yeah. No, dude, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So VSL. Yeah. It spoke right to me, dude. And I was like,
that means I did a good job then,
yeah,
right?
You crushed it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so, because the whole idea behind Sell Anything, and there's been a few people that have asked in the recent episodes of what's it all about. Yeah. Well, dude, it's life's a pitch. And it more of this is geared towards wanting to have an impact. Because we've made millions of dollars doing commission. Like, that's just part of the game if you're good at sales, right? Yep. But the fun and the best times are when you take a rep or you take somebody who's new to the game and you can teach them life principles. And then all of a sudden it's like you see the light bulb go on. Yeah. Where it's not about the commission. It's about the impact.
I would agree. I think when I started first getting into sales, and I'm not even like a sales expert, so I'm just going to make that disclaimer first. Yeah. I think you're in the authority position for that. But sales was really intimidating for me when I first got started. And with my other businesses, I always had this motto, and I've seen it shared among a lot of other entrepreneurs and founders, is like, oh, I hate sales. I hate being salesy. That's not who I want to be. I don't really want to sell anything. Yeah. And nothing really shifted for me until I changed the perspective of what sales really is, which is more about, I'm here to help you, because if I don't believe in the product, especially as a founder, if you don't believe in the product or the service that you offer, that it's going to make the person's life better, then you're probably just in the wrong business. Right. But if you're super passionate and you believe that if they walked away from this conversation not having your product or service, then their life is better, like not better off, then you should lose sleep at night. Thinking like, man, I could have helped someone today and I was not able to close that deal. And so then when you have that perspective shift, it changes the way that you think about the conversations you have. And it's like, look, man, I'm selling on my back feet. I'm here to help you. You came to me and I'm just trying to help diagnose this. But then I have a solution that I can offer. But at the end of the day, it's if you don't close the sale, sure, I get it. You have quotas, you have things you need to meet. But if you don't see alignment with the business and with the person and the pain points they have and trying to solve them, then you should also be happy that you're pointing them in a better direction for where they 100%. Should go.
Yeah. Sales is nothing more than being able to help somebody with whatever you're providing to take them out of the pain they're feeling and to the pleasure they're seeking. That's all it is. Yeah. It's just providing a solution. Yep. So 100%. And so go ahead.
Well, sales, I mean, like at that point, like sales then becomes really fun. Right. And I think that's what happens is like, I've just noticed that when people do get into sales, once they understand like the fundamentals of it at that level, like they restructure their foundation for it, they get addicted to it. Because they're like, wait, this is actually super fun. It's because you have like an almost direct ROI when it comes to like return on impact, because you see that you are actually helping someone. You see they have a problem and you're a fixer and you're almost like the bridge between the solution and where they're at. And you're like, I'm just gonna help you cross. And so almost I'm just opening the door for opportunity. Yeah. So like it becomes really fun to like 100%. Be a salesperson. And I think that what you were just saying earlier about how to sell is a part of life. Have you read To Sell is Human by Daniel Pinkman? Have you heard of that book before?
I should. No, I have not.
Okay. So I read that book and it also changed the way that I think about sales, because it leaned harder into this idea that selling is almost embedded into everything that we do. I'm trying to sell my wife on where we should go to dinner. 100%. I'm trying to sell her on watching Marvel at the theaters than going to see some dumb rom-com or something, right?
It could be good.
Okay. Okay. Don't get me down this rabbit hole. Every predictable narrative that exists out there. But anyways, if part of life is just trying to persuade people in different ways, whether it's you're selling the gospel, it's like, I'm not selling it as if I make money out of this, but I am trying to persuade you.
Yep.
And when you realize the game of life is all about sales and you have passion behind the things that you believe in, then you're kind of a little bit of a control freak, because you're kind of trying to convince the world of like, the way that I believe life should be done is the best way that life should be done. Right. And so then you try to persuade people in every other area of life. And so when you realize that almost everything in the game of life is about sales and persuasion, it becomes a lot more fun.
It is a ton, hence life's a pitch, man.
Life's a pitch.
Life's a pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you do. You almost become, you get so convinced on what you so much certainty in what you have to offer that you're like, dude, you got to do it. You got to do it. But those are the sales guys that give the rest of us a bad rap. Mm-hmm. If they don't actually believe in the product and they're just chasing the commission.
Yep.
But if they really believe in the product and they know what they're actually providing and giving is going to impact that person for the better, those are the dudes we want in our arsenal. Those are the dudes we want.
I think most people, so one of my clients that I have, he's an auto F&I agency. Okay. So basically, if you were to go buy a car and then at the end of the pitch, they're offering you the extended warranties on your car, he's that guy.
Okay.
He's that guy, right?
Yeah.
And everyone hates those guys.
Yeah, I don't even like them.
No one likes those guys. Yeah. And so for me, and he's a faith-driven guy. Like, we talk about our faith all the time. And we've had so many content pieces that we've done where we're almost trying to like identify the root of the hate people have towards the car salesman world, because there is so much hate towards it. Because the second you hear salesman, you think car salesman, you think used car salesman. Right. I think of Uncle Bobby B. You ever seen Transformers 1? He's the guy that has the used car lot. He's Uncle Bobby B, baby. Yeah. Like that's my version of a used car salesman. Yeah. But everyone thinks sleazy. They think cheating the system. They think lying to you about the product that you're buying. And so it's all about money. Right. And so that has embedded itself into like the Hollywood culture, to where that's what you see in every movie and TV show. Right. And so then now there's this association between salesmen and really crappy people. And so if you tell anybody that you're a salesperson, they immediately associate you with those characteristic traits.
100%. Dude.
And that's like the worst thing ever.
100%. The worst, when I fully jumped into sales and got a commission-only door-to-door sales job, that was my biggest hurdle every morning. Is I was like, I'm a door-to-door salesman. Yeah. I am literally the scum of the earth. Like I'm a peddler. Like, and I had to work through it, dude. Yeah. And I really had to get so clear on my intention of like, am I a dirtball? No, dude, I'm providing for my family. Exactly. Is what I'm having to offer make this person better? 100% it does. No.
Well, and you were in home security. Yeah. And that's one of the key drivers I think any family has as far as like what they want to do in their household is provide safety and security. 100%. And talking man to a man about like, hey, do you feel like you could protect this household if something were to happen? And what if you weren't home? What if you were on a work trip or something? Like once your mind probably shifted into that, there was way more drive to be like, I actually really enjoy selling this stuff.
100%.
But the used car salesman analogy, going back to that with my guy, we have to communicate openly and be transparent about like, well, where did this come from and why are salesmen so crappy and where does it derive from? And once we address it, then what we've done with his brand is we try to become like the authority of like the new version of the salesman. Like, how do we sell in a way that's actually ethical? And how do we do it in a way that is not cheating the consumer out of what they're buying? Because he sells the extended warranty packages. Yeah. So in my mind, I'm like, dude, you're the definition of unnecessary purchases, because I buy it and then something happens, I go and report it and they go, it's not covered. And I'm like, well, then why did I buy it in the first place? Right. And so I love that, at least what I do. It's why I get passionate about it. But I love that I could be transparent and honest with my clients and be like, this is what they're going to talk about on social media. So you better be the first one to talk about it anyways. Right. And so then it's like, why should someone buy an extended warranty? And he makes really good logical cases. But now, like what we do in branding, that's the whole idea. Is it's just about the messaging and figuring out like, where does the audience that you're trying to reach, what do they understand about your space? And then how can you communicate the messages effectively that better your brand and also help them in whatever way they need?
I love it, dude. And that's like one of the little pillars is we showed you on the vibe board of what Sell Anything's all about. Like, we want to put the man back in salesman.
I love that.
And what I mean by that is just exactly what you said. Integrity.
Yep.
Being ethical. Tell the truth. Like, do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
Just don't oversell me anything. Let's just talk man to man.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah. For me, at least when I have conversations with founders in sales, like that's at the core principle of it is I'm here to help you and I'm here to serve you. And if there's not alignment in what we do, then I'm not going to sell you something that you shouldn't have.
Right.
But I don't think that a lot of salesmen that get into like the auto world or even get into like the high ticket selling for a business, they're focused on the commission. They're focused on what they can make. And so when you focus on commission, you compromise on character. And so in my mind,
powerful. Say that again. That's good.
When you focus on commission, you compromise on character.
Right.
But I think the best salesmen in the world don't focus on commission. They focus on character.
And the
so
commission
they
follows.
Make more commission.
I agreed with you.
Because it's a byproduct.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm just here to help you, man. And I know that there's, I'm reading a lot of sales books. I'm learning about this stuff right now.
I like it.
Gap selling is another big one.
Don't know.
It's by Jim Keenan.
Okay.
His whole idea is just build the gap. Right.
Yeah.
If there's a gap between the pain point and where someone wants to be, the longer that stretch is and the stronger the pain is, and obviously the more enticing your offer is to that person. But one of the things he just talks about is like the dichotomy between being the expert and being the authority and also being likable and being a friend and kind of like wrestling with what's the approach to have as like a salesperson. Like, do I want to be the guy that's just the authority that steps in and says, I'm the expert, just trust me and just whatever I'm going to say, just take it as Bible, versus do I want to be your friend first? And do I want to be someone that cares about you and really listens and hears? Because in sales, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the best sales in the world listen more than they talk.
100%.
And I like to say that, and it's not my original quote, but there's a reason why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. So listen twice as much as you talk.
Agreed. And dude, in the Bible even says that.
Yeah.
Be quick to listen, slow to anger, slow to speak. Just listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's my flaw. I talk too much. So that's the thing that I have to work on when I'm in sales conversations is sometimes I get too passionate about what I talk about. And I'm like, no, I need to just play doctor, ask a couple of questions and just let them talk.
Yeah.
And so, I 100% agree with this idea of focusing on the character of the salesman more than on the commission.
Yeah. Commission is a byproduct of character. That's I love that. That's powerful. Yeah. So, okay, let's play doctor.
Okay.
So I'm so curious about your sales process, your sales pitch, all of that stuff for King's Media.
Yeah.
Like we want to Sell Anything out there.
Yeah.
We want it to have a big impact on the up and coming generation of salespeople, those that are transitioning out of sales into, and dude, candidly, those that like have lost their way in sales.
Yeah.
Like there's a weird, and I've talked about it in other episodes, but there's a weird thing that happens is when you're young and you're faith driven.
Yeah.
You're so reliant on God trying to figure out the game of life.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get that first 3 or 4 or 8 commission checks and you're like, who's God? And you're like, I'm God. Like I can do whatever I want. I make all, and then you get introduced to the self-development world and you're like, oh, like the self-development people are telling me I can be whoever I want to be.
Yeah.
And you forget God.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you've got the cars, you've got the success, you've got the house.
Yep.
And you wake up one day and you look around and you're like, I have the things, but I actually feel empty now.
Yep.
I'm sad. My wife is mad at me. My kids don't know who I am.
Yeah.
Like my partners are mad.
Yep.
What am I missing?
Yeah.
And you got to bring God back into the equation.
Yep.
Like that's the whole mission of Sell Anything is we want to put the man back in salesman, get him back aligned with God. So how would we do that?
It's hard, man.
Okay.
I mean, I think that I had, when I started my agency, rewind about 4 months prior, I'd say like 3 months prior to even launching it, I was running my apparel company. And I am more of a book of failures than I am of successes. And so that apparel company that I ran for like 6 years, I did that because we were trying to help. I used to run mission trips to Zambia, Africa every summer. So
cool.
I would recruit teams from college campuses. I would train them up, and then we would go together, and then we would go out into what was like the bush. So it's just like the rural parts of the country.
And you never shot anything.
No. If you bring a gun into those kind of countries, that'd be hard. You get shot.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know, like you've probably traveled the world. Like every other country, like they don't carry 9mm or any kind of handguns. They all carry AK-47s.
Well, that's true.
That's their version of a handgun.
I've been in Russia. Yeah, that's
yeah.
the thing.
It's intimidating at first. First time you're there, like I have to tell everyone, like, hey guys, there's gonna be some culture shock. And I'm not just talking about like the dirt huts. I'm talking about like a guy with an AK-47 is gonna walk past you in a second, and you gotta like be okay because he's not gonna shoot you. It's just a whole different world, man. Different topic, but. When I would do these trainings and I would recruit the teams, they would struggle with fundraising. And so we used to do t-shirts to kind of help with that. And so I tried to do an apparel line that was not just like a picture of the country and it was like, send me a Zambia. Like, I didn't want to do the whole custom shirts. I wanted to do something that was legitimately a representation of the bigger purpose of what we're doing, which was evangelism. So it's like, hey, we can evangelize in the other side of the world. We can evangelize in our communities. So the shirts that we did, they would say things like, I am loved, I have joy, I am enough. And then on the back, it would say, ask me why. So it was a conversation starter.
Cool.
And then it sprung into like a business. It was very successful, at least with its initial launch. And I went through this moment of, do I do this as a nonprofit or do I do this as a for-profit? Because I was trying to figure out like what's going to have bigger impact and change, but also what's going to allow me to maintain control without government interference or having a board and all these things if I have a vision. So I landed on a for-profit, and fast forward about 4 or 5 years later, it really was, unfortunately, it was like a hobby. I tried really hard to make it successful, but I heard this quote recently. It was so good. If hard work was the key to success, the donkey would own the farm. Yeah. And I was like, I definitely was the donkey in this situation. Donkey guy right here. And
that's a great analogy, dude.
Yeah. I was working my tail off and I was doing all this stuff. I was doing content. We ran a podcast. I was doing short form. I was running an e-commerce business and I was doing affiliate marketing partnerships, a lot of that stuff. But it never, I don't know if we ever broke like 60K in a single year. And at the same time, I still had like 6 other interests that I was devoted into. So I was someone who split attention. So I had a wedding business. So we were doing photography and videography. That was a 6-figure business. So it did well. So I wasn't like failing completely. I was a part of a restaurant startup that failed. I spent like $300,000 of someone's money and then I left. Yeah. That's a different story.
That happens.
But I came to this realization over that time frame as I was also committed to a lot of things that the Lord was like, yo, you got to do something different. Like just because you're devoted to the King and you run a business does not mean you are going to be successful in it. Like at the end of the day, like unfortunately, like God doesn't run your business for you in the sense of like you have to wake up and decide agency of I'm responsible for the choices that I make today. I'm not just going to wait for $1 million to fall on my lap because I devote my business to the King. Like there is collaboration in those things, but there's independent like responsibility. Right. And so I came to this decision, this realization of I should stop being committed to like 6 different things. I need to be committed to one thing. And we had just had our first kid. We were about 8-9 months into it. And I was like, I got to figure something out, dude. So I shut down the business and I shut down the other businesses and I started the agency, and that was where the New Earth Media came in. The idea was, how do I borrow or carry on all of the things that I love about being faith-driven, wanting to impact the community and the kingdom, but finding a way to like leverage that with the talents that I had and the skills that I've already developed. And then kind of taking advice from a lot of different, honestly, podcasts, like my fake mentors, about charging the rich and going after people that have more money and solving problems for them. And so we kind of pivoted into that. But what happened was when I shut down all the businesses, there was a couple of months, I was having panic attacks. And I'm someone who's never had stress in my life. Like I've always been pretty go with the flow. I've always trusted in the Lord. But I have a family now. I got a kid. I have responsibilities. I got bills to pay. And because of all the business expenses and unfortunately, my path was using credit cards for leveraging any kind of, loan that I could get. And so I basically shut everything down. I had over $50,000 of debt. We had $7,000 in monthly expenses. And that very next month, we had 0 income expected to come in and we had 0 savings. I had that's a lie. I had 1 gig that was for $500 and that didn't even happen. We didn't even do that gig. It failed. But that next month, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was like, do I go get a job? But even if I got a job, there's nothing that could pay off those expenses that fast. So I'm kind of screwed on that. And I had this moment where I literally had to, like I had no choice but to let go and say like, God, you were in control.
Yeah.
Like I felt this calling. I felt that you wanted me to move on to something else. I've started it. I'm being obedient, but I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so fast forward that next month, the month where we had all of our expenses, no income, nothing coming in. We landed 3 new clients for the agency right away. And we still technically had the wedding business open, but we were trying to shut it down in that process. But Lord was like, keep this open for a little bit longer. And we booked more weddings in that 1 month than we had the previous 6 months combined.
I love it, dude.
We pulled in like $25,000 that month. And I was like, okay, well then clearly it's not me because I did nothing to do that. That all came from the Lord.
100%. So, dude, I love it, man.
Like that came from this building this foundation of the Lord saying like, I'm in control. I'm in the pilot seat. I want you to work as hard as you can all day long. And then at the end of the day, just let go. Be like, hey, you did everything you can in your power. Trust me. And I got you.
Yeah.
And that's the mindset. That's the mentality. That's kind of like the backstory for why where mindset is for me, how I think about going through business and sales. I'm not desperate for money, but I am desperate to help people. And I have just found that if I continue with learning the lessons of my past and not repeating the same mistakes and just focusing on working my hardest every single day and giving it to the Lord and giving him glory for it, they're like, yeah, he will take care of me. It's that collaboration. And so I don't go into sales pitches with this idea of I'm going to close this guy by the end of it. I get pumped, but I also get in there and I go, well, what are we dealing with right now? What's the circumstances? What's the situation? Because a lot of the times I step in to talk to these founders and they think what they need is a personal brand. But I'm looking at their offer, I'm looking at their website, I'm looking at their fulfillment. And on the back end, I'm like, I don't think your business is even built for scale. Like if you wanted to do this right now, I don't think it could work. So that's where I shifted to focusing on like 7+ figure entrepreneurs because they've already probably dialed in their offer. They've dialed in their systems. They know how to do sales.
Right.
And so at that point, my job is just to be like a bolt-on in some areas when it comes to their content and their marketing. But I know that our efforts will be successful for them. Right. Like what good is it for me to try and help someone where they can't even help themselves yet because they're still learning lessons that I cannot teach them, nor are they paying me enough money to teach them all those lessons in like a 90-day sprint.
Right.
There's just too much to go into that.
Just a ton. One thing that you said that I'm curious. Can I ask a question?
You have my permission.
So desperation kills all the deals. That's for sure. And I wouldn't even say that you're desperate to help people, dude. Just seeing you and listening to you, because you're like, I'm not desperate for money, but I'm desperate to help people. Dude, you just have a massive desire. There's no desperation in it. You just have a massive desire to help.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between desperation and desire.
Yeah.
So that's cool, man.
Yeah. Well, I think that like the desire comes with this idea that the people that change the world are entrepreneurs.
I agree.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree.
They're the ones that take on more risk than anyone else. And no one wants to acknowledge that. Like there's a lot of hate. Like there's a lot of like new movements that are kind of pushing towards socialism and young people that have this agenda against those that are successful. But they fail to acknowledge that, Jeff Bezos and Amazon is looking to disrupt the healthcare industry and Elon Musk is trying to make internet free for the entire world. Like these are the people that, yes, they have a lot of wealth, but they're solving some of the biggest problems we have, like Neuralink, looking at like leukemia and ALS and some of these bigger diseases that we don't have solutions for. Who's going to solve it? Right?
Yeah.
Like it's got to be them. And that's at like the scale.
Yeah.
But in general, I've always had this deep desire and passion in my heart to leverage, like we live in such an insane age.
Okay.
Like if you think about the Apostle Paul and him writing a letter to a church, he was hand manual.
Just cruising, dude.
Like probably
what do the
cursive.
Philippians need to hear today?
They don't even teach cursive in school anymore. Yeah. They got rid of that. Like he probably was writing, it's not in cursive, but like he was writing that thing out manually.
Just chiseling.
Yeah, he was chiseling. Chiseling that thing in stone. Yeah. And he sent it. And like you had one copy.
Yeah.
And then from that, you would create manuscripts and you would create copies of those things. And that was how messages were sent 2,000 years ago. I could send a text into a social media platform that, if done right, could reach millions of people in a matter of hours.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that we grasp the reality of how insane this is. I feel like sometimes my brain is like an 80-year-old man in a 26-year-old body.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, wait, this is so powerful. We have a supercomputer in our hands. How do we not? Why are we using it to just like destroy our brains into mush?
Why are we playing Brick
Breaker? right? It's like, look, I'm all for taking rest and breaks, but also like we have so much capability in our hands to do something different. And now you got large language models and you have artificial intelligence and things that are enhancing our ability to enact change faster. Yeah. All of that being said, I just want to partner with all of the people that want to change the world. Because if I go and study the tools of the most powerful tool that's out there today, where you could go and reach millions of people in a matter of days, in a matter of hours, in a matter of weeks, maybe months, for whatever your vision or mission is of how you want to change the world, if I can learn that and then assist those that have the passion and the resources, then that's a no-brainer. But when it's focused on the kingdom, it's like, what initiatives and things could we start where we could not, for me, I understand the principles of now starting a business and running it right and understanding and everything. And if we can pair that along with how can we get this message out to the world? Well, then now we're kind of unstoppable for the things we want to do. And so if we want to, like, this is a really crazy sub point, but I don't know if you've ever tried a tool like HeyGen before. Have you heard of HeyGen? Mm-mm. So HeyGen is an AI tool that allows you to basically submit a picture of your face if you wanted to, or a video if you have a pre-existing video, and it can change your language. So I could record a video of me sharing the gospel. I can turn that into Japanese.
Really?
Now, if I were to take someone that I hired that's like on social media and I create a VPN where I can change the IP address to be located in Japan. Now, it depends on countries' restrictions and if you can post in there. And I don't know exactly how Japan's is, but theoretically, I could distribute that post and it only reach the people in Japan. But I'm in Japanese. Mr. Beast is a great example of this. You know Mr. Beast? Okay, so Mr. Beast has a channel that's now in Spanish, and I think he has one that's in Portuguese. And like he's going after like the dominant languages because he knows that if I can create the same content and just dub it onto another channel, but it's in their desired language of consumption, then they'll watch it. Yeah. And so then theoretically, if I were to create a piece of content that's sharing the good news or has to do with just motivating people in whatever area of life and helping them become a better person, whatever it is. And then we have distribution internationally because I have a team that I can afford and can pay that is distributing content to over 200 or 190 countries or something like that. It's like you can do like 100+ countries that you're distributing to without restrictions.
And this is all on an app that already exists.
It's all on an app that already exists. And the technology is at like the worst it's ever going to be. It's only going to get better.
It's at the worst it's ever going to be.
Right? Like ChatGPT, like 3 years ago, people were like blown away at it. And then like 2 years ago, we became spoiled because we're destroying ChatGPT because the responses are not prompt enough and they're not in the exact format that we want. It was like you were just like googly eyes about 6 months ago because this thing gave you back a response that was not Google. And now we're spoiled. But the progression of technology, like it's advancing faster than we even expected. And so I am a very optimistic person for the future because I see the potential of what we can do for change.
It's beautiful, man. That's powerful. So how do you find your ideal client? How are you doing that?
So right now, I have spent the majority of the last year and a half as we've been developing this, really focusing on systems and skill. Okay. So even though I built a lot of skill set around production and audio, lighting, even communication models and methods, content in general, I started investing pretty heavily about a year ago into high-level coaches, agencies, creators, people that are doing billions of views for their clients to study under them because it's like, dude, you're going to get me there faster. I'm not going to go buy a couple of courses. I'm going to buy 1,000 courses and I'm going to get coached at the same time. So I haven't been as desperate to scale this as fast because I really want to do this right. And so for the most part, our marketing, we're about to launch a low ticket offer that basically teaches the entire system of how I even work with my founders. So like, let's say for instance, you had a team. And you're like, hey, I got my own team. I don't really need to work with you. And you're like, maybe I could pay for your coaching. You can kind of help my team. I just created an entire, it's got over 130 modules. It's really overkill, but it's designed for an entire team to consume. And it teaches them everything from the social media manager to the video editor, to the creative director, and even to you as a founder with how you can become a better communicator, but also how you can go and recruit a team. If you don't know how to find a social media manager or find a video editor or find a creative director, I give you guidance on all that. I give you the job descriptions. I give you the templates, everything. So it's like, and it's extremely grossly underpriced for what it should be. But the idea is like, I want to build trust with people first and I'd like to have good reviews. And I think it'll be a trigger happy thing that people will buy, but I want it to be extremely valuable. Like I spent 4.5 months day and night recording videos and building curriculum for this. And the guy that I'm doing this in partnership with, he's generated his clients over $1 billion. He manages probably like 10 to 15 million in ad spend a month. He's very, very successful at what he does.
Yeah.
And he told me it's one of the best courses / programs he's ever seen created.
Really?
Someone else that worked with Matt Gray's team said that it's probably the equivalent of what the Founder OS system is, and they have their own kind of curriculum. But I'm not trying to become the Matt Gray V2. I'm not trying to do that thing. I'm just trying to make it more accessible for people to do this.
Right.
So we're in the process of launching that. But up to this point, it's all just been organic. We built a partnership with a company called Rise Up Kings. I don't know if you've heard of them before.
I've heard of them, yeah.
So Skylar Lewis, the founder, we connected about, I want to say 8 months ago.
Yeah.
And he loved, again, the vision that we're about, being faith-driven, wanting to work with faith-based entrepreneurs. So we struck a partnership, and we work with about 6 or 7 of their founders now, and we help them with their businesses, and they're all across the board. Yeah. Like, I'm not just for coaches and consultants. Yeah. Like, I have a guy, we were just in New Mexico in Roswell at a dairy farm.
Yeah.
And we were doing content about cows. Yeah. And it sounds so ridiculous, but I'm asking questions like, do different cows taste different? Like, I'm asking questions like the things like,
what's the answer, bro?
Apparently they all taste the same. It's all about what you feed them is what really matters.
There we go. Okay.
But I'm asking questions like, can raw milk kill you? What is colostrum? What do they put in Walmart meat they don't tell you about? But we did over 1 million views in like 13 days for them with brand new accounts for everything. And these guys are nobodies. So it's just like, you have that. And then I got an auto F&I guy. I have a family coach. We did 100 million views with him last year. Like, we are all across the board. So the systems I've developed, I've been focusing so hard the last year and a half on making sure that the system can be applicable for almost any founder in any space.
Right.
Because I want to be able to say confidently that I can do this for you.
Right.
And if I've only ever mastered it for one industry and kind of one lane, then if I'm selling something that I don't truly believe in, then it puts me at like a dilemma of whether or not I should sell this.
Right.
And if I do, then I better work my butt off to make sure that they are successful and that I do make it work for them.
Right.
But that's pretty much how we've marketed ourselves. It's all word of mouth.
Wild, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a guy on previously who he's a ghostwriter, and he's written some really big books that, like, obviously they pay him not to say who he wrote them,
right?
But they're international bestsellers, right? Yeah. And he's like, I've never had to sell. Like, they're all referred to me. Yeah. I just do it.
One of my favorite quotes is, marketing is the tax that you pay for an unremarkable product.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah. Because in general, if your product kills and you do a really great job of it, word will spread.
Right.
Because the results will show itself. People will see it. And if you build true relationships with the people that you serve, whether it's customers or clients, word will spread.
Right.
Now, is that the only way to run your business? No, probably not. I mean, not everyone's guaranteed to be like an ambassador for your business, and not everyone's going to have the most success with your product or service. There's a lot of variables. But I still live with that fundamental belief that if I can't grow this thing on a referral basis to start, then me putting money into ads probably isn't going to solve the deeper problems that this company has that I need to build a better foundation for.
Wild, dude. Okay. I like that a lot. So what's the big, this is a lifetime career thing? Or is this like hey, I have an entrepreneurial bug. It makes sense to me right now.
Yeah, man. The answer is, I don't know.
Fair.
I think that since a young age, I've had the entrepreneur spirit.
Yeah.
I had one of those. Do you have a moment where you kind of first experienced entrepreneurship as like a child that like changed your perspective? How did you get into entrepreneurship?
I tried to sell mud pies one time. Yeah. Didn't go well. I did try to do that.
Not the real kind of mud pies that are desserts. You're talking like you went and scooped out like mud worms.
Yeah, literally there was like mud that had dried and it had cracked into pieces that looked like brownies. And
you would do really well in the bottled water industry.
Thank you.
Selling something that should already just be free.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Yeah, it's because I can sell anything, dude. That's literally it.
There you go.
That's my whole tagline. Yeah, I tried to do that. Now, how did I jump into? Well, candidly, dude, all of the people that I ever really had like an admiration to, like there were admiration to like hardworking blue collar, like we're cowboys. That's what we like. I love, that's my roots, and that makes sense to me. We're blue collar, we work hard. But as I grew and I got into being a teenager and I started to see things, most of the people that are like, what's he do that everybody else doesn't do? They were business owners. They were entrepreneurs. They were communicators.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like these dudes. And then I have always really loved fitness. And so I got into personal training in college just because it works so well with the school schedule of like, I train from 6 in the morning to 10, go to class in the middle of the day. Then I'm back at the gym training clients from 5 to 9. Like I can do both.
Was anyone in your family entrepreneurial at all?
You know, as I've dug into the lineage a little bit, there are some.
But your parents, they just worked like
my mom did own her own salon.
Okay.
But she didn't make it. She didn't know what she was doing.
Yeah.
And my dad like tried to do things, but he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
And actually my grandparents, the whole way we got over to America. So Van Zyverden is my last name.
Okay.
The company is still going strong. My little roots of the tree or my branches of the tree are not in it, but Van Zyverden Tool-Ups is a big deal in Holland.
Really?
And they send them to Lowe's here. Tractor Supply has them.
I've probably bought them before.
You probably have.
My ex loved tulips.
Yeah. So that's actually how my family got over here. Is my grandpa came over to expand into the U.S.
Okay.
And by the time he could get the bulbs here, they had already bloomed. And so then he like left to go be a developer. So we're very entrepreneurial.
It's in the bloodline.
Yeah, it's in the bloodline for sure.
So Daniel, do you know who Daniel Priestley is? You heard that name before?
No.
He was just on the Diary of the CEO. He's pretty big. He runs a few different companies.
Okay.
He said something in a podcast once that like really made me think about my childhood. And he said that most, in his accent, he's like, most entrepreneurs have like a moment in their childhood that develops their entrepreneur. Yeah, he's Australian. He actually is Australian. Okay. And he says that there's just like a moment that every entrepreneur kind of experiences, at least most, in their childhood, that kind of set the tone for their trajectory as an entrepreneur and business owner for the rest of their life. And I was like, where was that for me? And I remember vividly that all my friends were getting these like iPods that were coming out. And I was like, dude, these are so cool. Like you can just play music. And they came out with an iPod Nano. It was like the square version.
Yeah,
but
they had tiny one.
Yeah. They had, well, that was the Shuffle. Shuffle was the super tiny one. Okay. The Nano was like a square version of the original iPod.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
And it had this Brick Breaker game on it that I was like, dude, that's calling my name. Right? Like that was the level of video games that we had back then where like that was your entertainment threshold.
Yeah.
Now you're like watching Cocomelon while playing Fortnite at the same time as TikToks are in the background and you're not stimulated enough.
Yeah, you're just like,
it's bad.
What else can we add?
I got Pac-Man. That's what I got. So I wanted the iPod Nano. So I walked up to my mom and I was like, I want the iPod Nano. Yeah. And she was like, cool. Who's going to buy it for you? And I was like, you. Like, I don't have a job. And she said, go make money somewhere. Do something. Yeah. And it kind of got me thinking. I was like, is that possible? Like, can I actually go do that? Yeah. She's like, yeah. I was like, how? She's like, just go to the neighbors and ask to mow their lawn or to like scoop dog poop or something. I was like, okay. Yeah. So I remember getting on WordPress. This was like 2005 WordPress. I love it, dude. And I pulled this stock image from like a mansion. I pulled off probably like Jeff Bezos' first house off of like Google or something. I put it on a Word doc. And I lived in like the suburbia of like Oregon. It was not mansions, but the picture was definitely selling the outcome, right? Selling the outcome. And I was like, hey, I wrote this whole intro paragraph where I was like, my name's Jeremy, which that's my full name. Remy's the nickname, but my name's Jeremy. And I have a goal of raising $150 and making $150 this summer so that I can buy an iPod Nano. And there's no sales tax in Oregon. So it was like $150 flat. And so I said, here's the list of things that I can do in all the different services.
Still, there's no sales tax?
Still no sales tax.
Okay, sorry, keep going. That just caught me off guard a little bit.
If you know someone who lives in Oregon, buy it there and then either go pick it up or have it shipped to you.
I'm going to Oregon for everything.
Money.
I'm gonna get all my cars in Oregon.
I almost bought my Tesla in Oregon.
Smart.
It was complicated though to do that.
Okay.
So I don't know if I would advise that, but you can do like a laptop and that. Yeah. Like those things are great. So I fill this thing out and I go door to door and I'm actually knocking on the doors and doing kind of like the nerve-wracking door-to-door salesman stuff. Yeah. But I'm a kid, right? Yeah. Now, did I have the understanding of like, dude, I could sell them anything. I'm a kid. Come on. Yeah. No. I did not think that way. Yeah. I just thought I need to like be bold and just knock on the door and tell them what I'm doing. And so I did that for probably only like maybe 20 households. I didn't go through like the 3,000 that were in my entire like area. Yeah. But even just of those 20, like almost every single one of them found something for me to do. So I was mowing lawns, I was taking care of dogs, I was washing cars, I was house sitting, I did a bunch of stuff. And I vividly remember having that stack of like $150, but it was all like ones, right? Because they all just paid out in ones for small gigs that I would do. Yeah. And I remember going up to the counter at Costco and like slapping it on top and being like, one iPod Nano, please. Yeah. And just the ownership that you had in that moment of the product that you just worked so hard for. And then realizing that all I had to do was go create value for someone else in exchange for money. I was like, I'm on like crack cocaine, dude. All these other kids are trying to get the PS2 and I'm over here being like, I can go get a skateboard.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the start for me in this journey of always having this entrepreneurial spirit at heart. And so that I think will carry me for the rest of my life. I don't really believe in this idea of retirement, like not in the sense of I'm going to basically cease to exist with purpose.
Yeah.
I think the average person dies 7 years after they retire because they lose purpose and meaning, right? Like I'll work every day for the rest of my life. But as far as what I want to do, I think that I've had one clear vision, and that's that whatever I'm doing, that it's focused on building skill sets and understanding the technology and tools that God has gifted to us that I should be a steward of, so that I can go and change the world however I see fit at that season for the kingdom. And so the vision that we've created with the King's Media is like, I tell this to my team. I'm like, guys, at the end of the day, like we're a data collection agency. I'm not a social media agency. I don't like being called a social media marketing agency. Like everyone has one of those and you can go get one anywhere. Most of them suck. Okay. Yeah. But data collection is like, I'm just here to collect information and I'm doing it on someone else's dollar, but I'm going to figure out what works, what doesn't work. Yeah. How do I make someone else successful? How do I make them more money? How do I do all the things in business basically, but on someone else's top dollar? And then if I learn those skill sets, that goes up here. And that's an asset that no one can take from you unless you get a lobotomy, right? Right. So in my mind, I'm like, dude, if I can store up these skill sets over time, just being consistent and always evolving. So right now it's ChatGPT 5 and learning how to use that and Grok 4 and agents. And now we're getting really technical stuff. But even at the fundamental level, it's like, how do I create content and what do I create that people actually like? And if I can learn those skill sets, then if I wanted to go start a nonprofit tomorrow and I've built a network of high-level faith-based founders who have additional revenue and income and want to be a part of change and different things like that, then what I can do is I can collaborate with them on the vision that I have, utilize the skills and resources and even teams that I have in almost an Elon Musk way of like, hey, I'll take everyone that I got from Tesla and I'm going to put them into SpaceX, or I'm going to take everyone that I got in SpaceX and put them into XAI. Yeah. Right. And he just takes the team with him every new thing that he does. It's like, I'm not trying to be the Elon Musk Christian billionaire guy. Like, I don't know if I have any desire to have that much wealth unless the Lord's like, I'll do it so you can give it all away. But I don't know if it's truly possible to even be that successful without compromising on the things that I care about when it comes to family. Like, I don't think I would want to make any more money than what it would take to remove that time where I can't be at my kids' like practice, or I can't be at the game, or I can't be the coach and help out every once in a while, or even be the one that's writing up the plays and schematics and stuff. Like I want to be very present for my children and present for my wife. And I want to prioritize my relationship with God, my relationship with my family, and my fitness before business even comes in the picture. Right. Because you've probably met so many entrepreneurs that compromise on all three of those, get the business, make all the money, and they're miserable.
100%.
And what good is it to gain the entire world if you're to forfeit your soul? Yeah, the scriptures are pretty clear about it. And so wisdom is learned in two ways.
Someone wrote that somewhere. Right? They chiseled it into a stone.
Right? Yeah. And it was thousands of years ago. Yeah. It's like wisdom is learned in two ways. You either learn from someone else's mistakes or you make the mistake and learn it yourself. So it's either experience or it's someone else's. Yeah. And in my case, I was like, wait, if I just pray for revelation and wisdom, and this was in high school, every single day, then I'm guaranteed to get some of it. Because the scriptures are pretty clear that if you seek wisdom, she will find you. Yeah. And so in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm just going to learn all the like mistakes that others made, and I'm not going to make those. So ideally for me, I'm trying to avoid as much as possible not making the same mistake of compromising the wealth and the success of my business at the expense of my family.
Fair. Dude, I love that. And dude, that ties full circle into what Sell Anything is all about, because a lot of the people we're reaching are one to help them either learn before they make the mistake by just sticking to the fundamentals and seeking wisdom, or dude, you were seeking wisdom, you compromised some stuff, a little tiny lie crept in. Yeah. And now you're like, now what? My marriage is falling apart. Yeah. My kids are mad. Yep. I can't look down and see what I used to see because my belly's in the way. Like, they're not good.
Have you ever heard of Symbis before in like marital counseling?
Symbis.
It
sounds like something Starbucks would sell.
Right? Should be. Or maybe it's the next like Elon Musk robot that comes out. Like you got like Optimus and you got Symbis.
Like Lion King had a robot?
Yeah, pretty much.
I like it.
That's exactly what it is. Okay. So cool. It stands for Save Your Marriage Before It Starts. So I did this with my wife before we got married. And it's basically just premarital counseling, but with a form. that you take, where it just asks you a bunch of questions and preps you for what to expect going into like your marriage.
Okay.
That's just the exact same like analogy of like what you're trying to do with this podcast.
Right.
You're trying to save someone's business and save their marriage and save their faith before they make the mistakes in the business, having to learn it themselves. And that's what I love, is that you're trying to help prevent. You can still help people while they're in it, but like if there are preventative measures that take place where it's like, hey, here's what you can expect when you get to this level of a business, or you get to this size of a team, or you get to this place where you're traveling this much, like here are a lot of the things that can go wrong with your family or with your relationship and your with relationship with God or whatever else. And you're kind of like creating the stepping stones to make sure that they don't miss and fall down the stairs.
And even if they do that, there's still like a staircase back. That's why the Savior exists. Right?
Exactly.
Like he's there because he knows we're going to fall.
Yeah.
Like as much as I want to say, because I heard a quote very similar to what you said at a sports camp when I was younger of a smart man learns from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from others.
Yep.
I had heard that and I was like, I'm always going to be wise man. Dude, the reality of it is I'm just a smart man. Yeah. I've made a ton of the mistakes where I'm like, son of a, like what are you doing, dude?
Yeah. One of my clients said that he uses that quote with his kid. And so his kid will bring him an idea of something he wants to do. And he's like, yeah, I don't know if I'd do that. I don't know if that's a good idea. Yeah. And then the kid proceeds to say, I think I'm going to go do it anyways. He says, all right, go be smart. And he hates it every time because he knows exactly what he means when he's saying that. He's like, go learn from your own mistakes, man. You can learn from my wisdom or you can go figure it out yourself.
So and that's a big part of it is, dude, even if you have fallen down and you're just a smart man, you can still become wise. I think this is a game of expansion.
There's a big difference between shame and guilt. Yeah. And I don't think that there's a lot of communicating the difference between the two. Yeah. And so what happens is like an entrepreneur gets into a position where they've compromised on their family. Their relationship with their spouse sucks. Maybe they're in a separation, or maybe they've already gotten divorced. And then maybe the kids' relationships suck, or the business is starting to kind of crumble. You suck at your finances, all these things. You're overweight. And like the world's crumbling. Guilt is this idea that I have done something wrong. Shame is this idea of I am wrong. Like I am bad. I've done something bad. I am bad. Okay. And the problem is that the enemy wants you to live in shame. Because if you live in shame, believing I am bad, then there's no hope of getting out of it. Right. You don't want the help. You believe that this is my identity. This is who I am. So I will live in it. Right. I've already screwed up my marriage. What's the point of me even trying to fix it? I suck at being a good father to my kids. Well, then why do I even try to reach out anymore? Because I already suck and they don't love me. Right. So when you believe in shame and that becomes your identity, you're stuck. But guilt is this idea of like, man, I did something wrong. I made a mistake. But if you have the healthy understanding of conviction, it's like when you feel those things, that's the Lord saying, hey, there's still time to make a change. You can still make a better decision today. Like you don't have to be stuck in this thing. And all it takes is just the courage to step out and in humility, own up to your failures and seek restitution where you can get it.
100%, dude. Just surrendering. Being like, all right, cool. There's been some mistakes made, but we're moving forward.
Yep.
100%. I love that. So, Remy, here's what we ask everybody.
Okay.
I almost want to call you Jeremy now, but I won't.
I'm down for either or.
Okay, fair. We ask everybody. The whole idea of this, again, is for people to be sold on themselves, to be willing to bet on themselves because they believe in who they are, what they can become. What is one piece of advice in addition to what you've already shared with us that you would give to have someone be more sold on themselves?
I don't think there's anything you can tell yourself that is going to get you there in that mindset. I think you just have to go do it. Like you can't stare in the mirror and tell yourself like, I'm confident, I'm strong, I can do these things. Like you just need to go do it and prove to yourself that you're capable of it. So going back to why my entrepreneurship journey started when I was like 7 years old is because I learned at a very young age that I am capable of providing value to other people in exchange for money, and I can go get the things that I want. And when I learned that I was capable of doing that, then that built confidence in me. And then that started to stem into other areas where I built confidence to being able to ride down 3 miles to my friend's house by myself because I am capable of taking care of myself. And so when you put yourself into the situations that you're forced to figure it out, you learn that you're capable. I didn't know I was capable of building the business that I have now until I forced myself with $50,000 of debt, $7,000 of monthly expenses, and zero expected income to have to figure out how to figure it out. I didn't go in the mirror and say like, you got this. Like to some degree, yeah, like you got to believe in yourself. But I just think that like the strongest form of convincing yourself is just actually putting yourself in the situation and just not quitting.
Yeah.
If you don't quit, you can't lose.
It's
You
fair,
just have
man.
to learn.
That's fair.
So it's a game of endurance, I think. And that's just from my personal story. It's just a game of endurance.
It really is, man. And that's what makes entrepreneurs great is they have such a high tolerance for risk and being able to be like, oh, okay, well, here we are.
Yeah.
But then putting on the face of like, we're going to win.
Yep.
We are winning. Does not matter that millions of dollars are blowing up in our face. We're winning. And we're doing this.
Man, I would add to this, like, embrace failure.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just feedback, baby. That's all it is.
Failure, it's the greatest teacher. And if you're afraid of failing, then you're never going to be successful. Because you have to become okay with the consequences. Because once you're okay with the consequences and you can live in that reality of what is the worst case scenario something can happen, and you're okay with that, then all of a sudden, like, your confidence goes through the roof. Because you're like, well, if I'm okay with what could happen, then anything that I do, it's either there or it's above. Right? I've set the bar at the lowest it could possibly be, and everything above that is considered a success.
Yeah.
So if you just set the expectation of like, I'm okay with learning from failure and it happening to me, like you will learn very quickly. But if you're not intentional, like you can also learn the wrong lessons in failure, right? Like if I learned the wrong lessons in my apparel company and I was like, dude, the reason why it didn't work is because I didn't do paid ads. That's why my business didn't work. And I'm like, oh, so the next business I start, I got to do paid ads because that's what it's going to be. No, dude, I was breaking my back doing all of my fulfillment, selling a $30 hat. And I could use the same leverage with a skill set that I can go charge someone thousands and thousands of dollars every month consistently with the same amount of time and effort. And so in my mind, the lesson I learned was like, depending on your season or whatever, for me, it was you're way better off doing a high ticket service business and then working your way downstream to where if you want to impact more people, you can do it then. It's the idea of you go get your first nut and then you do something noble. That was the lesson that I learned. And the hopes is like, I think every entrepreneur that is faith-driven should be praying every single day for wisdom, every single day for it. Because the Lord will give it to you. And it's not the wisdom of this world, it's the wisdom of God. And he will guide you in learning the right lessons and the failures and successes that you have. But if you just try to do it on your own and you try to be smart, more often than not, you make the wrong decisions and you learn the wrong lessons, and it's a perpetual cycle of failures.
Beautiful, dude. I love it. Great advice. Great advice. Remy, thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.